Talking about species, like you've been spearfishing a long time. Again, it's probably like apples or oranges or bananas, but talk to me about one species that you really love to hunt, and maybe it's there in Panama, and how you do that effectively.
Um, I have different categories in my mind, like difficult fish, sneaky fish, elusive fish. That's what. And I'm maybe not the Spearo who goes out to catch the biggest fish.
Yeah.
No, not really. Yesterday, for example, I was catching mullet snapper. They are not the biggest one, but I love to eat them, or some yellow snapper. So if I think Mediterranean, I would think the Dentex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are super smart. And when I shoot with my gun, it's like they would know the brand and the range of the gun, and they just stay 1 meter further.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do all the dirty tricks I know, and they are difficult to fish. So the only recipe for those, it's really a very long breath hold, because they are predators, they are curious. So they will come in. But it takes them a long time. And then they come in, come out, and they return, and they send first the small juvenile fish in front of them to check. Then when they see I don't do nothing to the juveniles. That's why I always say never shoot the small ones. You kill all this hunting scenario. Well, it depends where you are, but here is the same. Here would be, I love fishing snappers, and I use a short gun, 90 centimeter tube, because it's very maneuverable.
Yeah.
And I love to sneak around rocks. Yesterday I saw a cubera like this, so not huge one, but good for eating. They're actually good for eating as a meat. And I saw him, and he saw me, and he disappeared very slowly, and I followed him without spook him too much, just to see where he goes. And I was just at the beginning of the breath hold, so fine. And he went in under a rock, and I thought like, And then I looked into the rock. I had no flashlight, and I saw there were like 5 of them.
Wow.
So one way to hunt, and it's very fun, is to find your victim.
Yeah.
Follow them, stalk them. They will lead you to the big cave or wherever they hide. And you're resting there. So I took the biggest one, it was a little bit bigger than the other one. I waited that he turns a little bit to me to shoot him, so I can pull him out easily without getting the shaft stuck and things like this, because I was shooting with 2 reps, which is not ideal for cave hunting, of course. It's too much line, giving them do what they want. So the snappers, and I love more personally reef fishing around rocks and stuff like that.
I saw one of your videos, like you were hunting, what is it? It was a strange fish. Pargo Amarillo, which is one of these snappers. It's another Litjanus by the looks of it. And I really like the look of that hunting too. There was a little bit of current pushing over. There was some heavy sediment in the water, but it looked like a really cool sort of cave, like crevice hunting area. It looked very, very fishy.
When I'm from the top, if this allows, I try to scan, but I study a lot navionics and things like this and photography. So I see cliffs, so a lot of rocks must have been fallen down by erosion, so there is a lot of habitat for them. And if I see this for pargos, for snappers, I stay at that place, because they love these holes and labyrinth thing where if some hazard arrives, some danger, they go down, and there is a connection. It's a labyrinth.
Yeah, yep.
They can disappear here, and they emerge again 10, 50 meters further, and you have no chance. So, yeah. I like this difficult fish,
Yeah. I like it too. It's hard sometimes. When you were cave hunting, like with that hunt, I noticed like you were very intentional. You were heading in a direction, and I thought, oh, he's going to go that way. And then I felt like you changed your mind because you had a bit of an intuition that there was something to the right. And then you sat there and you assessed what was going on and picked out your fish, and it was pretty cool. You said you used navionics before. Are you particularly using a premium version now? Are you looking at relief shading? What do you do these days?
No, I just use the standard version, because my interest is to understand how I explain this. Okay, to make it simple, there is habitat A, habitat B. For example, sand to reef, rocks, or normal coral reef. Habitats meet. This is also valid for hunting on land, by the way. On this edge, you will have the highest density of biodiversity. Not maybe biomass, but diversity. So you can find the thing that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So in this case, what I look on navionics is for big changes in steepness. Sorry.
Yep.
So lines get closer. For those that don't understand topography, means the difference of 1 meter. If your lines are 1 meter height, for example, they will be close together. Means 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter goes steep down.
Yep.
And then you see 25, a big patch. Then you see 26, a big patch. That is quite even.
Yeah.
So it can be interesting there as well. But again, it depends what species you look for. Yeah? If I look for emperor, okay, I will stick more to the sand. But I will also think, okay, where are the nutrients? Because they eat little worms and crustaceans and things like this. Well, actually, the nutrients will come from this side, will hit something, and then whirl around, and these small things that are the victims of the emperor will eat that. So probably the emperor will look for his food there.
Yeah.
But I study a lot marine life and let's call it the environment I will be hunting in, just to try to understand what a fish would like to do and where he would like to stay, to relax, to spawn, to feed, things like that.
And how did you do that? How do you start that process of like investigation with regards to groups of species? Like you sort of identified there, like emperor species, and we're talking about, what did you call them? Like with the Alejana snappers, what do you call Pargos?
Pargos, yes.
Yeah, and then you have different pelagic behaviors. Like you have surface swimmers, you have midwater swimmers. Spanish mackerel can be on the bottom, can be on the middle, can be, they can be, different places at different times of year with different nutrients in the water and stuff. How do you begin the process of understanding each of these groups and how and when to fish for each type?
Okay, that's a super question.
It's a difficult one.
Yeah, no, it's a very good one. It's not difficult at all. Because let's assume I'm new to this area. Yeah. My first thing would go out with some Spearo guys that understand the place. So locals, not friends of mine of Dubai or no. Even I love them. Sorry for that, but I would prefer the local guys.
Yeah.
Because they know what they do and I can learn from them. And hopefully they have some rules in their mind to explain things like what you asked me, Shrek. So I would, for example, I went to Oman, which is like south from UAE, United Arab Emirates. And Oman, it's not UAE, so I wanted to understand what I do. So the first dive I did there, which I will explain this, it's like I dove down to, 25 meters, was waiting for the Spanish max, and I did not see one. And the other guys were chasing one after another, loading the boats with the mackerels, and I was like, what the heck? How you guys hunted? And they smiled at me and said, okay, now we tell you. You go down, take all this deep thing, work, and we just stay at 5 meters and wait for them.
Yeah.
Say, but how do you know they will be there? Because there is a murky layer and thermocline, all this kind of thing. So it separates areas in depth, right? So they just stay above it when it's murky. And then there is where the Spanish mackerel cruises that day.
Yeah.
And there is probably where the bait fish will stay unless they see a predator, then they go down to the murky again, because they don't like the cold. They prefer the warm. Yeah, and most of the wind and when there is waves will circulate all this upper layer. So the nutrients are there, so they can be in the warm, cozy water. And then the Spanish mackerel will follow them, and then we find them. So things like that. I ask people.
I've been thinking about this a little bit lately. Like people talk about, like with competitions, they say, it's 1/3 local knowledge, 1/3 skill, and 1/3 luck. Do you agree with this as a rough heuristic for understanding an area and being successful?
I think yes, because, we know all these things, and then we go to the same place. We go always, and it always works. And that day, for some reason, moon phase, the tide was good, and all these parameters that can be variable work, and all these guys are not available. We make jokes, and we say they went vacation to Miami, or they are not there. All these fish are not there. So it's also luck, yes.
Yeah.
Yesterday, for example, I felt I had a lucky day because it's like a flow of things that I did, and I was chasing one fish after the other, and then I stopped because I had enough fish. But some days it's like I don't see fish, but my buddies do.
Yeah.
But I'm checking what they do, and they don't do apparently nothing different than what I do. So it's like,